another hotel, another city trip, and I am feeling so terrible. I cried in my Danish hotel room last night. I had to force myself to go to sleep. I am so deep into my PMS, and it always takes a few days before I notice what's happening, and before I open up my period tracker app and I see that I'm in my PMS window. And then a lot of things start making sense. The good thing is it's not that hard for me to enjoy this city right now. I had a very nice day yesterday, but in between going to the bathroom to pee at the museum and a bunch of other places, I just felt like crying, and I tried to shake out my energy, did some somatic shaking with my dad, even tried to get him to do it. But yeah, when I was alone at my hotel room at night, I got extremely fucking sad. I was miserable. Yeah, miserable. So I had an experience lately where that made me really hopeful. It was something romantic, and then it didn't turn into anything, and then it kind of turned into something, and then it kind of just vanished again. And it made me feel almost autistic, because I get that, you know, when people say, oh yeah, let's do this. Yeah, we should meet, and yeah, we should get together, whatever. Yeah, sometimes that's them lying. I'm well aware. I don't have any problems with social cues, but when someone tells you they want to do something, or they're going to do something, and they say that over and over in this span of weeks, and then the conversation drops, but then they come back and they say it again with more concrete plans, and then they vanish again. You're just left hanging, or I was left hanging in a really uncomfortable way. And well, you could say I'm too weak to walk away. I'm never gonna say no to a good time, I guess, even if it ends up hurting me. But that has been the past 2 months of my life, a very triggering phase, and I thought it was necessary, because I realized how unhealed I still am, and how triggered I get over being rejected and abandoned, so-called abandoned, being abandoned. Yeah, and I realized I can't chill. I'm not putting my nervous system first. I don't even know how to do that. But there are very dramatic emotions inside of me that are not proportional to what's happening at all. They're very old programs inside of my brain, and something as simple as someone not texting for 3 days, which would make any normal person a little bit anxious or stressed out or confused. I think confusion is one of the biggest drivers of my sadness, but okay. Because if I don't know what's happening, I'm having a hard time processing everything. Because to my brain, all of this signals danger in a way that is, like I said, unproportional. But something as simple as someone not texting can make me feel like I'm dying. And so, I don't know, the state of dating is horrendous, or maybe I give up too quickly, but I am I'm way too passionate for anything casual. And I think what you get from dating apps is casual. Doesn't matter what they promise you. And I don't like dating people in a way where I feel like I'm choosing something off a menu based on looks and not vibes. I don't like when people seem nice and friendly and then they end up being liars with no regard for your feelings or your personal well-being. And I think this is some kind of modern disease. And this is the PMS speaking through me, but it makes me want to die so hard. It makes me just want to retreat, and I know that's not the way, and my heart is still open, but I have taken such a hit. And I wish it wouldn't have happened. I wish I would sit here and I had some kind of fairy tale story to tell you. But I don't. And that is so tragic to me personally. It is so incredibly tragic. That a miracle has not occurred. But I must keep dreaming. As cheesy as it sounds, I must keep dreaming. Yeah. And now, back to my troubles. Let's get breakfast. Let's get breakfast.
So that last video that you saw, I found this in my camera roll. I had completely forgotten that I had recorded it. That was about a month ago, and it was very, very interesting to go back and see how bad I was doing. Because it is Halloween today, Friday, and the person that I was talking about in the last video, they did come over last Thursday to Monday over the weekend. And well, the something that turned into a nothing, well, it now has turned into less than nothing. So about 2.5 weeks ago, flights were booked. Flights were being booked. Dates were being set. And at this point, there was no excitement left in me. I had been so anxious for these past 3 months. So upset. And I knew that something was like wrong. I knew that something wasn't right. That I wasn't feeling like I wasn't being pursued in the way that I wanted. It's just something was just not. It was just very evident that this person did not like me that much, did not want me that much. But as I mentioned before, I couldn't say no to the prospects of having someone I like and who I had spent 2 very nice dates with, to have them come here. The idea of them flying out to meet me and spending 24 hours a day with me for the entire weekend was that was too much of what I wanted for me to say I don't feel well with how the situation is going and I cannot continue doing this. So a long story short, they came over. We basically had we cosplayed as like boyfriend girlfriend for 3 days. All the while I was thinking there's a conversation that needs to be held, and I don't know how to start it. There have been very sweet moments, so many romantic gestures, but I could feel an apprehension coming from the other person, and then there was a conversation where it became very apparent that this was just a nice experience for them. It wasn't anything more, and because of some past hurt, they would never consider having a long distance relationship again. I guess ever since Monday, I felt all the tension of the past 3 months just come showering down. I kind of felt like dying. I felt very depressed. I felt like this is all my fault because I knew that things weren't going well, and I should have said something earlier or ended it earlier, even though it was like not a thing. I couldn't have called it dating. It was something in the back of my mind for months and months, and I am not someone who can just go out and date multiple people. I'm like, if I put my hopes into one person, that's all I can do. And so there was something that made me feel diminished as a person. Something about them treating me as an experience, as something that would turn into an anecdote in the book of their life. Taking like the best parts of me and my city and my friends and all these experiences, and leaving the rest, leaving everything that is not pleasant, and expecting me to treat it the same way, which I couldn't do. And honestly, I've considered that maybe I'm the crazy one, that maybe it is not normal to feel attached or enamored with someone after you've only spent 3 days with them. But then again, something like holding hands in public and doing so many sweet things and just being attached to each other at the hip for multiple days is, I think, it's not an ordinary experience. It's definitely not casual, so I'm still contemplating whether like I'm just too passionate or whether they are too comfortably numb. And I felt kind of left, like used and discarded, and it is one of the worst things to try to make someone understand your pain when they have not even considered that you would be able to feel anything. And I don't want this to turn me as equally numb or resentful or just guarded as them. And the thing is, they just get to have fun, right? But they're not suffering at all. You might think that them being guarded or something, that's like a punishment in and of itself. But I don't think so. I think that person just gets to have fun, and they hurt people. They will hurt people along the way, like me, like they hurt me. But they'll be all right. They'll get over it one day and open their heart again, I think. And it's fine. It's fine. I could never be that way, I think, but I know they get to do this, and they will receive no punishment, probably, be it karmic or whatever else. So I don't know why I'm even contemplating this, but I guess, with some people in the past who've treated me badly, I knew that they were in a bad place themselves. So I knew that their sort of punishment or whatever for what they did would be that they don't get to live a happy life. With this one, that's not the case. With this one, it's just miscommunication and being too guarded and whatever. Something about having these romantic, like slight obsessions, or feeling like so ready to combine my life with someone else's, I think has to do with my tendency to not want to live my own life. If I can just merge my life with someone else's, someone who has a plan, someone who has a stable environment, maybe I can be stable too. Maybe if they like me enough, we can just build a life that I don't have to lead by myself. And that's an excuse. That's a way out of taking responsibility for my life, and this way I don't have to go after my dreams. I can just join the boring life of someone else, make it work somehow, even if it means I completely have to sidetrack what I want to do in life, or what I would like to do. As I said in the video a month ago, this has really shown me how I am still caught up in the narratives and my weird, I don't want to say schemes, but the programs that are running my brain. There's something inside me that just cannot say no to these propositions of love. I think I'm so good at hoping for things to work out when they clearly aren't. Because it feels like it's my livelihood. And it feels like my life is on the line. And if I don't get love, I kind of have to wither away. And I keep thinking about whether this was worth it, because this is really, really painful. And it has completely sidetracked the second half of the year. And the strange thing is when I met this person, I had this intuition to go to the place where I met them. And I thought this was the reason. And, it must have been the reason, because otherwise none of this would make sense. But I felt so strongly that it was kind of fated that we got to meet, because a lot of things just fell into place. So I guess this is another reason why I held on for so long. And now I have this just a strange memory of having 2 dates with someone, not seeing them for 3 months, and then them coming over, and now it's like it's just all over and we'll never meet again. And even if we did, even if we lived in the same city, this thing is like ruined. And you know what? It's so hard for me to imagine anything else. It's so hard for me to imagine that like I would meet someone and things would just work out. That I would meet someone like this who I liked and they would just like me back. And they would just do what it would take to make it work. But I'm still very much in my emotions right now, so it's maybe not a good time to talk about these things. I hope I can look back on this moment in a couple of years and just feel like this all makes sense and all of this had to happen for me to find the right person or have something normal just once. Just once. And yeah, despite the hurt, I'm still hopeful. I'm still gonna keep my heart open and not despair. Even though every single time I've done so, I've opened my heart in the past, it never worked out. It always just I always just got smacked in the face. Got like emotional whiplash. But we do attract. Apparently, we do attract what we are, and if I attracted this messy person, it must mean that something within me is also not right. And even though I might be emotionally less guarded and open to love and relationships, I think there are other areas of my psyche where I'm just as messy as them or just as guarded or dysfunctional. So I'll try to work it out. I don't know if you can do this while you're single. I don't know. But I'll try to come back to myself and live in peace and not let this get me down, even though it's been rough. All right. Goodbye.